back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be giving my IronHeart Series review. But before we get into any of that, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and turn on those post notifications so you're gonna find when I post a new video. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so IronHeart has officially ended, and I will now be giving my full take on the series. To be honest, I never really thought that the show would be any good. I mean, from the moment it was announced, I was almost certain it was gonna be another Marvel flop, but fortunately, I was completely wrong. IronHeart is another series that Marvel has given us that has turned out to be pretty good. The show definitely has its flaws, but it also has a very interesting plot, entertaining characters, and a pretty decent villain. But I can't lie, the moment I heard Riri said that Tony Stark wouldn't be anything if he wasn't a billionaire, I almost turned the show off. I mean, like, bro, she was so wrong. But then again, so were many other Marvel characters, especially Steve Rogers' Captain America.
You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play, to lay down on a wire and let the other guy crawl over you.
Are you sure?
But anyways, I also like how this show kind of continues the legacy of Iron Man. I mean, one of the villains in this show is literally the son of Obadiah Stane, who was the first villain Iron Man has ever faced up against. And Ezekiel Stane is such a great character, dude. Another thing that I like about this show is that it brings us back to practical suits. In the behind the scenes of this series, Riri's suit is actually completely practical. And because of that, the CGI looks great for the majority of the series. But dude, I absolutely love how she puts her suits on and takes them off. It looks so freaking cool. It brings us back to that feeling of old Iron Man suit-ups that we all loved in the first Iron Man film and throughout the rest of the MCU. I'm very proud of Marvel for not including nanotech in this film because I can't even lie, that was definitely one of my minor concerns for this series, that her suit was going to be part nanotech or something like that. It was going to be a whole lot of CGI on the suit. And I'm so happy they went with the practical route because it looks so much better. The CGI in this movie is actually really, really well. I didn't really see anything that I was like, yes, that's bad CGI. Everything in the show looks pretty good. And the show shows us that practicality is actually way better than full CGI. Because of course you can add the CGI on because to make it look natural, but it will look more realistic if it was practical and it had CGI in it. So Marvel, please continue this throughout the rest of your films. And man, let's just jump to the end real quick. The ending of this series, it's fantastic. We are finally shown Mephisto in the MCU after he has been teased and after his name has been said in many previous projects. We finally got our first official look at Mephisto in his human form and a glimpse of what he will look like in his full demon form. Mephisto is played by Sacha Baron Cohen and he gives a great performance of Mephisto in Ironheart. This guy is perfect for the role. I also want to say that the Hood is actually a decent villain. He does have some flaws as far as his origin goes in the show. They changed it up a lot. Like the way he got his hood in the comics is completely different from how he got it in the show. In the comics, he got the hood after breaking into a building that had a summoned demon in it and killed the demon and took the demon's cloak. And the cloak itself comes from Dormammu, not Mephisto, like the way it does in the series. And his father was actually a person who worked for Kingpin and not some big-time rich guy like he is in the show. But other than that, the villain was pretty decent, and I actually love that we got to see some of his demon form in the show, like we saw in the comics. It was also really cool to see him use his base and regular powers. Honestly, I wish he used them more. I feel like his powers were very underused in the show. I feel like he barely uses them at all. I also like the magical aspect in the show. Even though it's heavily surrounded with the concept of technology, there are still bits of magical, mystical arts in this series, like this character, Zelma Stanton, who in the comics was a librarian from the Bronx, who got infected with mind maggots that was also in the show. You know, this little jar right here. Yeah, so in the comics, she got infected with mind maggots, and it gave her a rash that eventually grew into teeth, and she went to seek help from Doctor Strange. And in the show, she name-dropped Doctor Strange and Caecilius.
Y'all ever heard of Doctor Strange? This rogue sorcerer named Caecilius, and he used to stand...
Who was from the Doctor Strange film, obviously. Duh. But anyways, I think that her character could be leading into the Strange Academy show that is in development at Marvel. And I think that's also what the post-credit scene for this series is about. But I'll save that for another video. Also, those last 3 episodes of the show really resemble Iron Man 3. From Riri having a panic attack and having to rely on her AI to calm her down, the same way Tony did in Iron Man 3. And also, the fight scene in the White Castle restaurant where Riri does not have her suit and has to use the surroundings to get out of a very bad situation that she's in. Yeah, Tony Stark did that same thing in Iron Man 3. I love how Marvel is heavily implying that this girl is going to be the next Iron Man or the next Tony Stark and not Spider-Man. Like, I feel like if there's anything that really threw me off after Endgame is like how people are like, Spider-Man's the next Iron Man, yeah. Like, no, Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I feel like him being associated with Tony Stark in the MCU kind of cursed his character a little bit. But anyways, the show is really good, but I think the biggest flaw in the series for me is the ending. The show ends with her defeating the Hood and meeting Mephisto, and him offering her a deal to work with him, and he will give her best friend back in return. And guess what? She takes the deal. Like, biggest shocker of 2025. I swear I was not expecting that at all. Here's a little fun fact. I also realized that this is the same thing Mephisto did to Peter Parker in the comics. When Peter lost his Aunt May after the events of Civil War, he makes a deal with Mephisto to bring her back. But that spirals into a whole new group of problems, and I think it's going to do the same thing to Riri. And Riri accepts the deal and is now an agent of Mephisto by the end of the series. But in my opinion, the ending does not do it for me. Sure, it leaves us on a cliffhanger and leaves us wanting more and wanting to get a season 2. Which I think is what Marvel was going for with this ending. But if you ask me, I wish it ended with Riri rejecting Mephisto's offer. I think this would have been much more fitting because one of the themes of the show is moving on from your past. I think her passing up an offer like that would really show her character growth and character development, showing that she has moved on from the death of her best friend. I mean, the episode was literally titled, "The Past is Past." So I was really shocked when she actually took the offer. But anyways, the way I would want her to go about this is after she rejects the offer from Mephisto, she goes back to her family. And by the end of the episode, she would meet Kamala Khan, asking her to join her team. That team being the Young Avengers. I feel like this would have been so much more better for promoting the Young Avengers film. But because we did not get that ending, I have to admit I am pretty excited to see what Marvel has in store for Riri Williams in the future of the MCU. I would definitely encourage you guys to go watch the show. It's pretty entertaining. The show for me is a solid 7.5 out of 10. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, and I'll see you on my next one. Peace!